Here's a quick review of a pivotal book in one of my favorite series that I'm slowly reading and reviewing. I'm Captain Mike, this is Whiskey and Witerature, and I talk about whiskey and books, and today it is Book 4 of The Wheel of Time, The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan. James Oliver Rigney Jr., pen name Robert Jordan, was an American author, mainly of fantasy. Certainly his claim to fame was The Wheel of Time, and he passed away in 2007. The Shadow Rising was first published in 1992, and my copy clocks in at just under 1,000 pages. So that means that between 1990 and 1992, Robert Jordan released 4 books with over 3,000 pages. That is an insane pace. I have read this book more than a dozen times. This time through, I didn't turn even one page. I listened to it 100% on Audible, where it's narrated by Rosamund Pike for 41 hours and 13 minutes. And there are 2 versions you can get on Audible, and I'll take this moment to kind of apologize to Rosamund Pike for dissing her version of The Wheel of Time in past videos. I've gone through book 1 through 4, and I thoroughly enjoyed listening to Moraine's version of The Wheel of Time. Of course, Rosamund Pike is the actress who played Moraine from the series on Amazon. Okay, quick rundown of the plot. And this is the first book in the series so far where the main characters, they get separated at the beginning of the book, and throughout the entire book, they never come back together. Perrin, he learns of a threat to the 2 rivers, and with part of the group, he goes back to face that. So the 2 rivers has been threatened by Padan Fain, White Cloaks, Trollocs, and the mysterious Slayer. And there were, I think, some really emotional parts in this book. And I understand when you're talking about book series, especially ones that the reader really enjoys and loves and is very familiar with, like I am, there are some emotional parts in Perrin's story. And Perrin's not necessarily my favorite character, though I do really enjoy his plot. He's more very solid and methodical. And Faile I don't really like necessarily, but I think she's great for Perrin, and they work really well together. So when they're in the 2 rivers, I think that is that whole sequence, it's nice. We see Perrin coming into his own, and I'm going to say that a couple times throughout this review of this book, because many of the characters do that. He's coming to his own in the 2 rivers, learning to be a leader, which typically he has not seen himself as that. So I do really enjoy it, and there are a couple of emotional scenes in the book, especially when he first gets back to the 2 rivers, and he learns that his entire family has been killed. And to me, that's a really moving sequence there in the story. Nynaeve and Elaine, they continue this theme that they've had in book 3 all the way through book 4 in Tanchico, and into the next book as well, and into a couple more. Like, I do really grow to like Nynaeve a lot, but in book 4, again, she and Elaine are both insufferable, and I just can't wait until we get through this part of her story. Min, carrying over again from early in book 3, she's still stuck in the White Tower until the White Tower splits, and then she, with Swan and Leanne, who have both been stilled, they escape from the White Tower and from Tar Valon with Logain. Of course, in book 3, Rand has claimed Kalandor and named himself the Dragon Reborn. I think there are some of the coolest sequences in this series so far happen in this book. You know, we have Mat, Rand, and Moraine. They go through the doorway ter'angreal. And Rand, he decides he needs to go to the Waste so that the Aiel can declare him the Kara-Karn. So in the Aiel Waste, Aviendha, Moraine, Mat, and Rand go to Ruidian. And if you've watched the Amazon show, which has been canceled, that is one of the few sequences in the book that they did, from the book, in the show, they did really, really well. Like, I really enjoyed in the show when Rand is going through the glass columns in Ruidian and seeing his ancestors. And that is one of those pivotal, I'm going to say that a couple times in this review as well. It's one of those pivotal moments in the book, because then that establishes where he's from, and you know, that he is from Aiel, and that's what allows him, that what he learned in those columns and what he learned that he is, that is what allows him to become the Karakarn to the Aiel. And I think that was really, really well done. And of course, Matt, and if you read The Wheel of Time, you love Matt just for who he is throughout this series. And of course, there's another doorway, Terran-Grael and Ridian, and Matt, he's bored. So what does he do? He goes to that doorway as well, which is a pivotal moment for him, because that really allows him to become Matt 2.0. Like, he is still who he is, this incorrigible character that we all do really enjoy. But now he unleashes these memories and this knowledge within himself, which allows him to just be next level. So it's a great sequence. And of course, we have the whole sequence of them traveling from Meridian to Cold Hold Rocks. And then when they get there, and Rand, he breaks the Aiel and declares himself and is acknowledged to be the Karakarn. And that's just a super quick rundown of the plot. And I do really enjoy The Shadow Rising. I think of the book so far, this, and maybe even in the first half of the series, this is one of my favorite books, because a lot of stuff does happen. The story does advance. We learn quite a bit about a lot of different things, and I think it's just really, really well done. And it is super long, but it is very rewarding to get through, and I'm glad I just read through it again. Okay, my guys, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on The Wheel of Time in general, The Shadow Rising specifically, and what fantasy are you reading these days? I'm always looking, I've realized that I'm stuck kind of, I read the same books over and over again. I'm always looking for something new to read, and I do take suggestions really well. I'm considering going back to Brandon Sanderson's The Stormlight Archives. I've read the first couple in that series, and I think to go through it again, but man, I hate to tackle that when it's only like halfway done. I'm almost like deciding to not read series that aren't done anymore. You get burned with Game of Thrones and other series, and so if you have a series, that suggestion, let me know. Guys, thanks for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, like it, it's free. Subscribe to see more of my content. Again, I talk about whiskey and books, but for now, my friends, you know what to do. I hope you're reading something good, drinking something great, and wearing that damn hat. Cheers.